There are few things in the world of darkness that will actually give a werewolf cause for pause. Pun definitely intended. The Nexus Crawler is one such being. They are angry. They are creatures of unimaginable power, ones that can literally change reality around them. It's unclear the original origins of the Nexus Crawler, and even less is known about the being that creates them. But before we can talk about the powers of a Nexus Crawler, what they're able to do, we must first cover what they are. Nexus Crawlers are alive. In its natural state, it looks like a shimmer, a little bit like the heat on sand. They can think, they have goals. No one really understands their goals or their thought process because of how alien they are and the fact that not many people live to tell the tale of encountering a Nexus Crawler. I always interpreted them to be a horrifying version of a digital spider, but that's just one form that they could take, being that they can alter reality. While a Nexus Crawler is alive, to call it or compare it to a Bane is not quite correct. It's a little bit like trying to talk to a tornado or to an earthquake. Humans, if they see one, will go into a frenzy immediately. Werewolves, a little trickier to do, but they could still frenzy upon seeing one. Nexus Crawlers also have an entire arsenal of weaponry at their disposal, mostly like sharp pointy teeth, venomous barbs, many other appendages that are sharp, pointy, and otherwise very stabby and killy. For packs of Garou who have tried to take on a Nexus Crawler, they have found that the Crawler uses unorthodox tactics. It is intelligent, but again, the way that it problem solves is alien to most people. Now, the Nexus Crawlers, they are created from a Wyrm spirit. This spirit goes by the name of Glowoff? Glowoff. I'm going to pronounce it as Glowoff. Glowoff. This spirit is known to produce gafflings and jagglings and things off of its body. It is a disgusting mess. Described as a continually changing ball of horrors, these things spawn off of its body. And while jagglings and gafflings are commonly spawned off of this thing, Nexus Crawlers are also one of its most powerful creations. And for quick reference, jagglings, they are umbral citizens. They are spirits. They have identity and they are individuals. Jagglings can also range in power, much like the Garou have different levels of power depending on how long you've been around. Jagglings are exactly the same. Do not discount a jagling just because that's the name that's given to one. Jagglings are also commonly found in the service of other, more powerful spirits. Gafflings, on the other hand, they are the lowest rung in the spiritual totem pole. Most of them are not fully sentient, and they are mostly considered messengers or the gophers of the spiritual world. But be aware that the more intelligent and self-aware that a gaffling is, the more powerful its master is. Now, if what I've described about the Nexus Crawler hasn't terrified you enough about them, let's talk a little bit about what they can do. If a Nexus Crawler is having an off day, consider yourself lucky, because some of the things that they can do, even in their worst state, are make things more blurry. They can change your facial features, make you look different. They can even start small fires in an area or drop temperatures in a room or increase them. For the Nexus Crawler, that can all be done on just one success of difficulty 7. Now, if the Nexus Crawler is having more of an on day, with just 3 successes, they can change stone floors to liquid and make it very difficult to walk through. They can turn your sweat into acid. They can black out an entire city block. They can remove 2 of your senses. Their attacks, they can hurl bolts of entropic energy at you, and this will deal extreme amounts of damage even on just 3 successes. And those bolts will deal 3 aggravated damage, which is the worst type of damage to take. Now, if the Nexus Crawler is having an on day, you're going to have a bad one. With 5 successes, a Nexus Crawler can turn your bones to mush. They can fill a room with mustard gas. They can remove your face, your entire face, along with any other sensory input you would need to know where you are or what you were doing. They can immerse you into a full sensory illusion. And worst of all, if you're a werewolf, they can turn an entire room that you're standing in into silver. And then of course there's the entropic bolts, which will deal 6 aggravated damage if it's rolling very well. But you can see why Garou would absolutely fear these beings. The horrific nature of a Nexus Crawler does not end here. Yes, it can distort reality, but they also can bestow gifts. Now, these gifts are all Wyrm tainted, so the general Garou population, they're just not going to want to find these or go through the time to get them. The Black Spiral Dancers, on the other hand, they have occasionally been able to convince a Nexus Crawler to teach them its terrifying gifts. Only the most powerful Black Spiral would even attempt something like this. A gift that can be learned is called Gift of the Tainted Totem. Anyone with access to this gift is able to disrupt or bar the use of a pack totem. It can even be temporarily replaced with something untoward. Doing so is extremely disorienting for the pack who no longer has connection to their totem and is tapped into something completely foreign, but this also corrupts their totem. It corrupts their pack. Not in the sense that their totem will never be the same again, but it's come into contact with something that is vile, that is evil, and it leaves a certain essence of the Wyrm. This is a level 3 gift. What this does is summons a bane, a spirit of rust, and it can fuse to a mechanical object, be it a gun, a computer, a car. The next time someone tries to use this device, the spirit will warp and twist and degrade the machine. But not only will the quality of the device degrade and break, it will try to absorb its user or meld to it in some way. And through this, the Bane spirit will try to corrupt its user. This is a level 4 gift. Patience of the Wyrm is another gift that can be taught by a Nexus Crawler. Commonly used by Black Spiral Dancers, this gift is for elaborate sabotage. It is for the most cunning of the Black Spiral, as well as the most patient. With this gift, when a Black Spiral curses someone or curses something, they are able to choose exactly when the curse will take effect. Their curse could lay latent and dormant for years until the exact moment the Black Spiral is ready to act. This is a level 5 gift. While most Garou should seriously consider any mission that puts them in contact or conflict with a Nexus Crawler, there are actually some things that a Nexus Crawler will give pause at. And one of these things are called Hellholes. Their name is also their literal description. They are terrible places of Wyrm corruption and infection, mass pollution. These places exist both in the physical realm as well as the umbral realms. Banes and powerful spirits, they will flock to these areas to feed on the terrible energies that are there, as well as the creatures and other spirits that live there and are dying or decaying or being corrupted. The veil in these places is actually thinner as well, so it's easier for spirits to jump between the physical and the umbral realms. Nexus Crawlers will stop in these areas. They will potentially set up shop on the fringes of the hellhole. Sometimes they can find spirits or male djinn that they would like to work with. And let's not forget that a Nexus Crawler is a creature of the Wyrm, not the Weaver. So being in an area like this is not uncommon. Any natural or good spirit that was in the area before the hellhole started will have died or become corrupted and served as food for the Banes, the male djinn, whatever is there. If left unattended, hellholes will increase. They will keep getting bigger. Their pollution will spread. However, if you clean one up, eventually the pollution and corruption will disappear. But if you're trying to clean up a hellhole and a Nexus Crawler has decided to make this its home or stick around for a while, you better be in for a good fight. Now, if you'd like to learn about some of the other terrifying creatures in the World of Darkness, like the Fomori, click the video on your screen now. Thank you to my patrons who continue to support me in the channel. My name's Nathaniel. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.